Most people think their life expectancy after 60 is written in their DNA. They are wrong. In the next few minutes, we're going to look at 5 specific signals your body is sending you right now. One of these signals predicts death better than your blood pressure. Another one predicts, with frightening accuracy, whether you will still be living in your own home in 5 years or in a nursing facility. These aren't vague symptoms like feeling tired. These are scientifically validated body markers doctors use to predict outcomes. They are measurable, they are brutally honest, and they determine if you have 5 years left or 25. In fact, before we go any further, if you are able to, I want you to stand up. Right now, just stand up. Because the first sign is something you can test immediately, and it might be the most important 10 seconds of your day. The 10-second one-leg stand. This is the test that recently shook the medical world. It was published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, and the results were so stark they made headlines globally. Here's the challenge. Take off your shoes. Place your hands on your hips. Now, lift one foot off the ground and place it gently behind your other calf. Can you hold this position without wobbling, without putting your foot down, and without grabbing a chair for just 10 seconds? Give it a try. If you can't, pay close attention. The study found that people over 50 who failed this simple 10-second test had an 84% higher risk of death from all causes in the next decade. Think about that number, 84%. But why? Here's what most people don't realize. Balance isn't just about your ankles. It's a complex, high-speed negotiation between your vision, your inner ear, and your brain's processing speed. When you stand on one leg, your brain has to make hundreds of micro-adjustments every second to keep you upright. If you can't hold it, it is often the very first silent warning that the brain's wiring is starting to fray, long before you notice memory problems. It means the signal from brain to body is getting noisy. And in the real world, poor balance leads to falls. And after 60, a fall isn't just an accident, it's often the beginning of the end.
But here is the good news. Unlike your genes, balance is trainable. If you wobble today, know that balance is one of the fastest abilities the human body can recover. You can fix this. Be honest with yourself. Did you make it to the full 10 seconds, or did you have to tap your foot? Keep that result in your head, because the next sign is something you do every single day, and it tells doctors more about your future than a stethoscope. Sign number 2, the 6th vital sign, walking speed. You know the standard vital signs, blood pressure, heart rate, temperature, but leading geriatricians are now pushing for a new one. They call it gait speed, or simply how fast you walk when you aren't rushing. Here is the hard data from the University of Pittsburgh. There is a specific danger zone. If your natural walking speed drops below 0.8 meters per second, statistical life expectancy takes a sharp nosedive. What does 0.8 meters per second look like? It's roughly the speed you need to cross a standard street before the traffic light changes. If you're the person always worrying the light will turn red while you're in the crosswalk, you might be in the danger zone.
Think of walking speed as the battery level of your body. When that battery drops too low, everything else slows down with it. Walking is actually expensive. It requires your heart to pump blood, your lungs to oxygenate it, your nerves to fire signals, and your muscles to execute them. A slow walk isn't just a sign of aging. It is a sign that one of those systems is failing to deliver power. It means your body is moving into energy conservation mode. So, how do you test this accurately? Measure out a 4-meter path in your hallway. Walk it at your normal pace. Don't speed up because you're testing yourself. Walk how you walk when you go to the kitchen. If it takes you longer than 5 seconds to cover that distance, your body is waving a red flag. Studies consistently show that fast walkers live longer, not because they're in a hurry, but because they have what doctors call functional reserve. They have extra energy in the tank. I'm curious, when you walk with friends, are you the one constantly waiting for them, or are you the one struggling to keep up? Let me know in the comments below. That simple habit might be saving your life. Now, while walking uses your legs, this next sign is hiding in your hands. And astonishingly, it predicts heart attacks better than many blood tests. Sign number 3, the grip strength indicator. It sounds like an old wives' tale. Strong hands mean a strong heart. But a massive study published in The Lancet, covering 140,000 people across 17 countries, proved it is actually a scientific fact. They found that grip strength was a better predictor of death from cardiovascular disease than systolic blood pressure. Let that sink in for a moment. The squeeze of your hand predicted heart failure better than the pressure in your arteries. Here's why.
You don't just have hand muscles. Your grip is a proxy for your overall total body muscle strength. If you are over 60 and you find yourself struggling to open a new jar, or if carrying a heavy grocery bag feels like a workout, that is not just arthritis or getting old. That is muscle wasting. There's a medical name for it, sarcopenia, and it is the #1 reason people lose their independence as they age. Muscle is not just for looking good. Muscle is the organ of longevity. It regulates your blood sugar, it protects your bones, and it helps you survive physical stress. If your muscles are too weak to grip, your body is often too weak to recover from a surgery, a fall, or an infection. You don't need a fancy medical device to test this. Find a sturdy support, like a door frame or railing. Can you hang on, supporting your own body weight for just 30 seconds? If yes, your mortality risk is significantly lower than your peers. If you can't, or if you can barely hold on for 5 seconds, consider this your wake-up call. Sarcopenia is silent, but it is aggressive. However, grip strength is one of the easiest things to build back up, even in your 70s. But before you go buy a stress ball, we need to look at the mother of all tests. This next one is brutal. It hurts the ego, but it tells you exactly how much time you have left before you need a caregiver. Sign number 4, the sitting-rising test. This test was developed by a Brazilian physician, Dr. Claudio Gil Arujo. He noticed something worrying in his practice. Many of his older patients could walk on a treadmill just fine, but they couldn't tie their own shoes without sitting down. He realized they were losing functional flexibility, so he created the sitting-rising test. The test is simple, but the scoring is strict. You start with a perfect score of 10. The goal is to lower yourself to the floor into a cross-legged sitting position and then stand back up. But here's the catch. You cannot use your hands. You cannot use your knees. You cannot use your forearms or the side of your legs for support. Every time you use a hand for support, -1 point. Every time you use a knee, -1 point. Lose your balance and wobble, -0.5 a point. The research showed that people who scored between 0 and 3 were 6 times more likely to die in the follow-up period than those who scored 8 or higher. 6 times. Why is this movement so predictive? Because it requires extreme flexibility, balance, and high-intensity leg strength working in perfect unison. It is the ultimate test of functional independence. If you can't get off the floor now, what happens in 5 years when you trip in the bathroom and no one is home? Now please be careful. Do not try this on a slippery floor. Have a chair nearby just in case, but give it a try. Did you use a hand? Did you use a knee? If you scored below an 8, your body is slowly losing the ability to move itself against gravity. But don't lose hope. Just like the other signs, this can be reversed. But first, there is one final system we haven't checked, the engine that powers all of this, your heart and lungs. Sign number 5, the stairs test, VO2 max. We can't talk about living past 90 without talking about VO2 max.
This is basically a measure of how efficiently your body uses oxygen. It is the single strongest predictor of a long life that we have. Usually, you need a lab, a treadmill, and an oxygen mask to test this, but European cardiologists found a real-world equivalent that you can do anywhere. Find a staircase.
You need 4 flights of stairs. That is about 60 steps. The goal is to climb all 4 flights without stopping, but at a fast pace. You want to see if you can do it in under 1 minute. If you can do this without stopping and without feeling like your chest is going to explode, your heart health is likely in the top tier for your age. But if it takes you longer than a minute and a half, or if you have to stop halfway to catch your breath, it means your heart and lungs can't keep up with your body's demands. It is a sign that they are struggling to supply the fuel your body needs for basic movement. And if you struggle with stairs today, you will struggle with walking tomorrow. I know these tests can be scary. Maybe you wobbled on the one-leg stand. Maybe you couldn't get off the floor without using your hands. But I want you to listen closely. These signs are not a death sentence. They are a check engine light. And the best thing about the human body is that the mechanic is you. You are not broken. You are just untrained. Science shows that even in your 70s and 80s, you can increase muscle mass. You can improve balance through neuroplasticity. You can increase your VO2 max with the right training. The people who lived to be 90 didn't just get lucky genes. They noticed these signs early and they fixed them. Now, simply knowing the signs isn't enough. You need to know how to fix them. If you want to know exactly how to reverse these signs, the specific, safe exercises to improve your balance, grip strength, and engine power, I am working on a complete guide for the next video. If that is something you need, make sure you are subscribed and have the bell turned on so you don't miss it. Longer lives don't come from guessing. They come from testing and fixing. See you in the next one.